The sound of splintering wood jolted me awake. My sister Amanda's voice echoed through my apartment, raw with rage. "Catherine, where are you hiding it?" I sat up in bed, heart pounding, though not from fear. I'd been expecting this since Mom's funeral 3 weeks ago. The heavy footsteps in my hallway told me Amanda hadn't come alone. "Found it." Her husband Mike's voice called from my study. "The jewelry box is here." I walked calmly into my study, flicking on the lights. Amanda stood there, clutching Mom's old maple jewelry box, her perfectly manicured hands white-knuckled around its edges. Mike loomed behind her, trying to look intimidating in his expensive suit. "Breaking and entering now, Amanda?" I asked, leaning against the doorframe. "That's new, even for you." "Don't play games with me," she snarled. "You knew Mom promised me her jewelry collection. These pieces are worth a fortune, and you had no right to take them." I almost laughed. Amanda, the successful real estate agent, always dressed in designer clothes, desperate for Mom's fortune and jewelry. If she only knew. "Mom didn't promise you anything," I said quietly. "But go ahead. Open it. See what's inside." Amanda's hands trembled as she lifted the lid. Her face, flushed with anger, suddenly drained of color. "It's empty." She turned the box upside down, shaking it. Only a folded piece of paper fluttered to the floor. "What is this?" She snatched up the paper, unfolding it roughly. "A letter?" "Mom's last letter," I confirmed. "She wrote it the day before she died." "Read it." Amanda's eyes scanned the page, widening with each line. Mike peered over her shoulder, his expression shifting from confusion to disbelief. "This can't be real," Amanda whispered. "Mom's jewelry, it was all fake." I nodded. Every piece. The diamonds, cubic zirconia. The gold, plated brass. Mom spent her entire life wearing replicas while investing the real money elsewhere. But she always said they were family heirlooms." Amanda's voice cracked. "She wore them to every important event, every party, every time you bragged about your latest commission," I finished for her. "Every time you showed off your new car or designer bag, yes, she did." The letter shook in Amanda's hands. Mom's final words to us laid bare the truth about our family's supposed wealth. How she'd sold the real jewelry pieces decades ago to start a secret investment portfolio. How she'd watched Amanda's obsession with status grow, while I'd stayed grounded, working my way through nursing school. "There's more," I said softly. "Keep reading." Amanda's eyes reached the bottom of the page, the part where Mom explained that while the jewelry box held no real treasures, she'd left her entire investment portfolio, now worth over $2 million, to me with specific instructions about how it should be used. $2 million? Amanda's knees buckled. Mike caught her before she hit the floor. "But why you?" "I'm the successful one. I'm the one who needs to maintain my lifestyle." I thought about the free clinic I'd been dreaming of opening, the one Mom and I had discussed during her final days, the one her money would now help build. "Maybe because I never needed real diamonds to know my worth," I said. "Now, would you like me to call the police about my broken door, or are you leaving on your own?" Amanda stared at me, tears streaming down her face, smearing her expensive mascara. The jewelry box slipped from her fingers, clattering to the floor. Without another word, she turned and fled, Mike trailing behind her. I picked up Mom's jewelry box, running my fingers over its smooth wooden surface. Inside, hidden in a secret compartment Amanda hadn't found, lay a single piece of real jewelry, Mom's simple gold wedding band, inscribed with the words, "True wealth lies in the heart." Tomorrow, I call a contractor about the door. Tonight, I had investment portfolios to review and a clinic to plan. Mom had always said I had her spirit. Practical, patient, and able to see the real value in things. Looking at her ring, I smiled. Some treasures, after all, couldn't be measured in carats or dollars. The next morning, while the contractor measured my broken door, my phone buzzed incessantly with messages from family members. Apparently, Amanda had spent the night calling everyone, spinning her own version of events. "How could you steal Amanda's inheritance?" Aunt Patricia's text read, "Your mother always intended those jewels for her." I muted my phone and focused on the contractor. "Can you install better security locks too?" I asked, thinking about Amanda's dramatic entrance. He nodded, adding it to the estimate. Just then, my cousin Sophie appeared at my doorstep, looking uncomfortable. "Hey, Kat. I heard about last night." "Let me guess. Amanda called you." I stepped aside, letting her in. Sophie nodded, settling onto my couch. She's telling everyone you manipulated Mom in her final days, convinced her to change her will. She paused, studying my face. But that doesn't sound like you. I pulled out Mom's letter, the one Amanda had dropped in her hasty retreat. Read it yourself. As Sophie read, her eyes widened. Oh my God, she whispered. Aunt Eleanor was wearing costume jewelry all those years. Even at my wedding? Even then, I confirmed. Remember how Amanda kept asking to borrow her diamond necklace that day? Sophie laughed. She was so angry when your mom refused. Said it was too precious to lend out. Her expression softened. But the clinic cat, that's amazing. It's exactly what this community needs. Before I could respond, my phone rang. It was Mr. Harrison, Mom's lawyer. Catherine, we need to meet. Your sister is threatening legal action. An hour later, I sat in his office, surrounded by documents Mom had meticulously prepared. Mr. Harrison spread them out on his desk, each paper a testament to her careful planning. Your mother knew this might happen, he explained. She documented everything. Her decision to sell the real jewelry, every investment she made, and most importantly, her reasons for her final wishes. He pulled out a video recording. She made this 2 months before she passed. It's her official testimony about her decisions. On screen, Mom appeared, looking tired but determined. I know Amanda will be hurt, she said. But Catherine understands what really matters. The clinic she wants to build will help people who can't afford medical care. That's worth more than any jewelry. My throat tightened. Even now, Mom was protecting me, making sure her wishes couldn't be contested. Amanda doesn't have a case, Mr. Harrison assured me. Everything is ironclad. Leaving his office, I found 3 missed calls from Amanda's husband, Mike. I hesitated, then played his voicemail. Catherine, we need to talk. His voice was low, urgent. Amanda's not thinking straight. She's planning something. Be careful. I called Sophie immediately. Can I stay with you for a few days? Just until my new security system is installed. That evening, as Sophie helped me pack some essentials, we heard a commotion outside. Through the window, we saw Amanda arguing with a contractor who was finishing up the door installation. I'm her sister, she was shouting. I have every right to be here. I stepped outside, Sophie close behind me. No, Amanda, you don't, not anymore. She spun toward me, her designer handbag swinging wildly. You think you've won. Mom was confused at the end. I'm contesting the will. I have Mom's video testimony, I said quietly. And about 20 witnesses to your break-in last night. Want to rethink that plan? Amanda's face contorted. You've always been jealous of my success. Mom gave me those jewels years ago, she promised. Mom gave you opportunities, I corrected. She paid for your college, your first car, your real estate license. She watched you chase status while I worked night shifts to put myself through nursing school. And you know what? She was proud of me for that. Something in my words hit home. Amanda's shoulders sagged, the fight draining out of her. For a moment, I saw past her expensive clothes and perfect makeup to the sister I'd grown up with. She whispered, I just always thought those jewels would be mine. I built my whole image around being the sophisticated one, the successful one. You can still be successful, Amanda, I said, but maybe it's time to redefine what that means. She looked at me for a long moment, then turned and walked away without another word. Sophie squeezed my hand as we watched her go. Later that night, as I settled into Sophie's guest room, I pulled out Mom's wedding ring from its hiding place. In the dim light, the inscription seemed to glow. True wealth lies in the heart. I slipped it onto my finger, thinking about the clinic plans waiting on my laptop. Tomorrow, I'd start turning Mom's legacy into something real, something that would help people. Amanda might never understand, but Mom had been right. Some treasures couldn't be kept in a jewelry box. 6 months later, I stood in front of the newly renovated building that would soon become the Eleanor Grace Free Clinic. The contractor was installing the sign, Mom's name in elegant blue letters against the white exterior. My phone buzzed. Another message from Amanda. She'd been texting sporadically since that night, each message a mix of anger and attempted reconciliation. Today's read. Saw the clinic sign going up. Mom would have wanted her name on something more prestigious than a free clinic. I didn't respond. Instead, I walked inside, where Sophie was helping organize medical supplies. We transformed the old downtown building into something Mom would have loved. Warm, welcoming, and practical. Amanda still doesn't get it, does she? Sophie asked, seeing my expression. No, I sighed. But look at this. I showed her the local newspaper article about the clinic's upcoming opening. The reporter had interviewed several community members, all expressing excitement about having accessible healthcare in their neighborhood. Now that's real prestige, Sophie smiled. The front door chimed, and to our surprise, Mike walked in. He looked different, tired, wearing a simple button-down shirt instead of his usual expensive suit. Catherine, he said hesitantly, can we talk? We sat in what would soon be the clinic's waiting room. Mike ran his hand through his hair, a nervous gesture I remembered from family gatherings. Amanda and I separated, he said finally. After that night, something changed. She became obsessed with proving her worth through expensive things. Maxed out our credit cards buying real jewelry to replace what she thought she lost. I listened silently as he continued. But that's not why I'm here, he said. I found something in our attic while moving out. Something you should have. He pulled out a small, worn photo album. Inside were pictures I'd never seen before. Mom in her 20s, wearing the original jewelry pieces before she sold them. She looked so young, so vibrant. But what caught my eye was the final photo. Mom at a free clinic much like the one I was building, wearing her fake pearls and a genuine smile as she volunteered. She used to volunteer there every weekend, Mike explained. Amanda never mentioned it, but I remembered. That's where your mother's heart really was. Tears pricked my eyes as I traced Mom's face in the photograph. Thank you, Mike. He stood to leave, then paused. You know, Amanda might not show it, but seeing this clinic, it's making her think. She's been looking at old family photos too. The next week, as we prepared for the clinic's opening day, I received an unexpected delivery. A package from Amanda. Inside was Mom's old jewelry box, repaired and polished, with a note. I found some of Mom's costume jewelry in my closet. Think your patients might like to feel special sometimes? A. Inside the box were the fake pearls Mom had worn to countless charity events, the cubic zirconia earrings she'd beamed in at Amanda's graduation, the plated gold bracelet she'd worn while helping at bake sales. I placed the box on the reception desk, where the afternoon sun made the fake gems sparkle just as brightly as real ones ever could. Opening day arrived bright and clear. As I cut the ribbon, I saw a familiar figure at the back of the crowd. Amanda, dressed simply for once, standing next to Mike. She didn't approach, but she stayed, watching as our first patients entered. That evening, after the last patient had left, I sat in my office, Mom's wedding ring catching the light on my finger. The clinic's first day had been a success. We helped 27 people who wouldn't have otherwise received care. A soft knock at my door made me look up. Amanda stood there, looking uncertain. The pearls, she said quietly. Mom was wearing them when she helped me study for my real estate exam. I never knew they were fake. They were real in all the ways that mattered, I replied. She nodded, tears in her eyes. I'm starting to understand that. She paused. I'm selling my designer bags. Thought maybe the money could help buy supplies for the clinic. I stood and hugged my sister for the first time since Mom's funeral. Outside my office window, the setting sun made the clinic's sign glow. Eleanor Grace Free Clinic, where true wealth lies in healing. Mom would have loved it, not because it was prestigious or expensive, but because it was real, just like her costume jewelry. Sometimes the most valuable things aren't the ones that sparkle the brightest, but the ones that help others shine. Hi, I'm Emily Caldwell, 28 years old, and my life's been on hold. For the past 5 years, I've been taking care of my mom, Martha, who has multiple sclerosis. Don't get me wrong, I love her deeply. But it's been tough, especially with my older brother, Jake, the successful real estate agent, always showing up in flashy suits and fancy cars. He's quick to tell me I'm doing everything wrong. But when it comes to helping, crickets. One morning, Jake leaned against the kitchen counter, watching me prepare Mom's breakfast. Emily, you're not giving Mom her meds on time, he said, his tone dripping with condescension. I rolled my eyes, grabbing her pill container. I literally just did, Jake. Want to check the schedule I keep? No need to get defensive, he smirked. I'm just looking out for Mom. Right, I muttered, thinking of his luxurious penthouse across town. Looking out for Mom from there, huh? Jake's latest scheme involves managing our finances, which really means giving me pocket change while he lives large. Sliding a few bills across the table, he said, here's your allowance for the week. Allowance? I'm not 12, Jake, I snapped. This barely covers groceries and mom's supplies. He shrugged. Budget better. I'm investing mom's disability checks. It's for her future. I bit my tongue, but inside, I was boiling. Later, I found out he'd been pocketing most of that money. Some investment. The one bright spot through all of this, my best friend, Olivia. She's been my rock. Emily, you can't keep putting your life on hold, she said one afternoon over coffee. Remember that marketing exec position you always dreamed of? I sighed, stirring my latte. How am I supposed to go for that when mom needs me? There are other options for care. You deserve a life too, Olivia insisted. Her words lingered with me. That night, after mom had fallen asleep, I quietly applied for jobs online. But my resolve wavered when minutes later I heard her calling, Emily, honey, can you help me? I closed my laptop, sighing as I headed to her room. She was reaching for her water glass on the nightstand, just out of reach. Sorry to bother you, sweetie, she said. I just can't quite reach it. You're not a bother, Mom, I said, gently adjusting her pillows. Never. You're such a good daughter, Em. I don't know what I'd do without you. Her words made my heart ache, a bittersweet reminder of the guilt and love tangled together. But the next morning, I woke up feeling different, like something big was on the horizon. Today was my interview with Apex Marketing, one of the top firms in the city. I'd been preparing in secret for weeks. As I slipped into my best blazer, a surge of excitement and guilt washed over me. I deserved this shot. But when I turned my car key, I was greeted with silence. No, I muttered, trying again. Nothing. That's when Jake appeared, all smiles. Car trouble, sis? No worries, I'll drive you. I was suspicious, but what choice did I have? In the car, I pulled out my phone to review my notes, only to find it dead. That's odd. My phone's dead, I said, frowning. Jake reached over, offering his charger. Here, use mine. It'll juice up in no time. Maybe he wasn't so bad after all, I thought, as we pulled up to the Apex building with 15 minutes to spare. You've got this, Emily, Jake said, squeezing my shoulder. Thanks, Jake, really, I replied, feeling a glimmer of hope as I walked into the lobby. But the receptionist's frown said it all. Emily Caldwell, she asked, glancing at her screen. You were an hour late, and we received a call saying you canceled. My stomach plummeted. What? That's impossible. I'm right on time, and I never called to cancel. She looked sympathetic but firm. I'm sorry, but Mr. Thompson has moved on to another meeting. We can't reschedule. Devastated, I stumbled out of the building, my dreams crumbling around me. The drive home was silent. I couldn't bring myself to speak, replaying everything in my mind, wondering where it all went wrong. Then later that evening, I overheard Jake on the phone, his voice low and smug. Yeah, it worked perfectly. She has no idea. As I hid in the hallway, I heard Jake's voice low and smug through the cracked door. She'll be stuck here taking care of Mom forever. My blood ran cold. Quietly, I slipped out to the garage, my instincts screaming something was wrong. I examined my car, clear as day. There were signs of tampering. Back in my room, I checked my phone. The battery had been completely drained, far more than normal. But the final nail in the coffin was the call log, an outgoing call to Apex Marketing that morning when my phone had supposedly been dead. The realization hit like a punch. Jake had sabotaged everything, my car, my phone, my interview, my chance at freedom. I sank onto my bed, shaking with anger and disbelief. How could he do this to me, his own sister? But as the shock faded, something else took its place. Determination. If Jake thought this would keep me under his thumb forever, he had another thing coming. I opened my laptop, fingers flying across the keys as I started planning. Jake might have won this round, but I was far from defeated. This wasn't just about a job anymore. It was about taking back control of my life. I spent the night sleepless, my mind racing with plans and anger. By morning, I was ready to confront Jake, but I needed proof first. While he was out, I sneaked into his home office, searching for anything suspicious. That's when I found it, a hidden compartment in his desk drawer. Inside was a burner phone and a stack of documents. My hands shook as I sifted through them, piecing together a shocking truth. Jake wasn't just embezzling Mom's money. He was involved in a massive real estate fraud scheme. The documents revealed fake properties, shell companies, and laundered millions. The most chilling part, a list of names including high-profile politicians and businessmen. I quickly snapped photos of everything and put it back exactly as I'd found it, heart pounding as I left the office. Later, I confronted him. Cut the crap, Jake. I know what you did, and I know why. His face flickered with surprise before shifting to Fox innocence. What are you talking about? He said. The car, the phone, the call to Apex. You sabotaged my interview. Jake scoffed. You're paranoid, M. Why would I do that? Oh, I don't know. Maybe to keep me here as your perfect family alibi while you run your little fraud scheme. His face went pale. What? What are you talking about? I leaned in close, voice low. Shell companies, fake properties, money laundering. Ring any bells? His eyes widened, panic flaring in his gaze. How did you? And let's not forget your little black book of corrupt officials. That's quite an insurance policy, isn't it? Jake's desperation turned cold as he grabbed my arm. You don't understand, he hissed. I'm in too deep. These people, they're dangerous. If I go down, we all do. I pulled my arm free, glaring. So you decided to ruin my life to save your own skin. I'm protecting us. If you leave and start a new life, it'll raise questions. I need to look like a devoted family man. It's the only thing keeping us safe. I lost it. You selfish bastard. You've been lying, stealing, putting our family at risk, all for your own greed. His face twisted with anger, but he tried to keep control. Watch it, M. We're in this together now. One word from you, and it's over for all of us. Little did he know, I was recording every word on my phone, hidden in my pocket. After the confrontation, I told Mom everything. The fraud scheme, the dangerous connections, the sabotage. Her face crumpled in disbelief, then steeled with anger. That boy, she muttered, shaking her head. I knew something was off, but this, Emily, we have to report him. I hesitated. Are you sure, Mom? This could get dangerous. I raised him better than this. He needs to face the consequences, no matter who he's involved with. Together, we called the authorities. With shaking hands, Mom dialed the FBI's tip line. Hello, this is Martha Caldwell. I need to report a major fraud scheme involving my son, Jake Caldwell, and several high-profile individuals. As Mom hung up the phone, I felt a flood of emotions, fear, relief, and pride. For the first time in years, I didn't just see her as someone frail or in need of care. She was the strong, fearless woman I'd always admired. She turned to me, eyes filled with determination. We did the right thing, Emily, no matter what happens next. I hugged her tightly. It's okay, Mom. We're going to get through this together. After Mom and I reported Jake, the FBI moved quickly. His office was raided, and soon his face was plastered across local news. The phone wouldn't stop ringing. Reporters, angry clients, even some of Jake's business associates, all trying to figure out what we knew. One morning, as I made breakfast for Mom, my phone rang with an unknown number. Hello, this is Emily Caldwell. Hi, Emily. This is Sarah Thompson from Apex Marketing. We heard about your situation on the news and were very impressed by your resilience. My heart skipped a beat. Oh, thank you. I'm so sorry about the interview mix-up. No need to apologize, Sarah said warmly. In fact, we'd like to offer you a job, if you're still interested. I nearly dropped the phone. Are you serious? Yes, absolutely. After I hung up, I danced around the kitchen, tears of joy streaming down my face. Mom wheeled herself in, a smile tugging at her lips. What's all the commotion about? I shared the good news, and her face lit up. Oh, Emily, that's wonderful. But what about me? That conversation opened up possibilities we hadn't considered before. Mom, what if we got some help here at home? I suggested gently. I can use part of my new salary to pay for a caregiver to come for a few hours each day. Mom looked uncertain. I don't want to be a burden on your new life, Emily. I took her hand, squeezing it reassuringly. You're not a burden, Mom. This way, you can stay in your own home, and I can pursue my career knowing you're well taken care of. A week later, I settled into my new job just a short drive from home. As I wrapped up my first day, my phone buzzed with a text from Olivia. Celebration dinner this weekend, no excuses. We're toasting to your new beginning. I smiled, feeling a blend of relief and excitement. It wasn't perfect, but we'd found a balance that worked for everyone. We'd been through hell, but we'd come out stronger. Jake's trial was looming, But for the first time, I wasn't afraid. Whatever came next, I knew we could face it together. What would you do? If you discovered a family member was involved in a dangerous criminal scheme, would you report them to the authorities knowing it could tear your family apart? Or would you try to handle it privately to protect your loved ones? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Hey everyone, I'm Sandra, a 28-year-old artist trying to carve out a life in the big city. Right now, I'm in my tiny studio apartment, surrounded by canvases and brushes, when my phone rings. It's my brother Michael, and I immediately know it can't be good news. Aunt Meredith's gone, Sandra. Heart attack. Just like that, my world shatters. Aunt Meredith wasn't just an aunt. She was my rock, my everything. When my parents were too caught up in their own chaos, she stepped in, becoming the mother I never had. I can still remember the first time she brought me to her antique shop. I was about 7, with scraped knees and messy pigtails. This old chair has a story, Sandra, she would say, running her fingers over the worn wood of a Victorian piece. Everything here does, just like you and me. She'd let me set up a little corner in the shop where I could draw and paint, and customers would stop and admire my childish scribbles. Aunt Meredith beamed with pride. My little artist, she'd call me. As I grew up, the gap between me and my brothers, Michael, Thomas, and Daniel, widened. They never understood why Aunt Meredith and I were so close. They didn't see the hours we spent together, the way she encouraged my love for art while they were off doing their own thing. Why don't you get a real job? Thomas would sneer every time I mentioned my art. Yeah, stop mooching off Aunt Meredith, Daniel would add. But Aunt Meredith always stood up for me. Art is as real as it gets, she'd say. Sandra's got a gift. Now, as I pack a small bag for her funeral, memories flood back. The smell of furniture polish, the jingle of the bell above the door, Aunt Meredith's warm laugh as she told me the stories behind each piece in her shop. I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, red-rimmed eyes, paint-stained hands. I look a mess, but I can almost hear Aunt Meredith's voice. You're beautiful, Sandra, inside and out. My phone buzzes with messages from my brothers. They're already talking about Aunt Meredith's will and what she might have left behind. It makes me sick. Locking my apartment door, I take a deep breath. I'm not ready to face a world without Aunt Meredith, but I know she'd want me to be strong. Little do I know, the drama that's about to unfold will test that strength in ways I never imagined. The funeral home feels suffocating, filled with people I barely know and the heavy scent of flowers and tension. I stand alone, away from my brothers who are huddled together, whispering and shooting glances my way. Look at her, acting all innocent. I hear Michael mutter. I bite my lip, fighting back tears. This is about Aunt Meredith, not them. The lawyer, Mr. Simmons, clears his throat. We are gathered to read the last will and testament of Meredith Anderson. My heart races. He mentions small donations to charities. Then, and to my beloved niece, Sandra Anderson, I leave my antique shop, Meredith's Treasures, including all its contents and business assets. The room erupts. Thomas leaps to his feet, face red with anger. This is ridiculous. She manipulated Aunt Meredith. Daniel joins in. Sandra's been taking advantage of her for years. This isn't fair. Mr. Simmons raises his hands, trying to calm them. Gentlemen, this was Miss Anderson's express wish. I'm stunned, barely registering the chaos around me. The shop. Aunt Meredith left me the shop. I'm suddenly transported back to a quiet evening there, just a few months ago. She was polishing an old mirror, her expression wistful. You know, Sandra, I always wanted children of my own, she said softly, her voice tinged with regret. I hugged her tightly. You've been more of a mother to me than anyone. Her eyes welled up, and you've been the daughter I never had. Back in the present, I realize the enormity of what she's given me. It's not just a shop, it's her legacy, her trust in me. Michael approaches, his voice low and menacing. You won't get away with this, Sandra. We'll contest the will. I hold my ground. This was Aunt Meredith's decision. Michael, not mine. As they storm out, Mr. Simmons hands me a set of keys. Miss Anderson also left this for you, he says, handing over an envelope. Inside there's a letter and a list of contacts. Art dealers, collectors, restoration experts. My mind spins with the possibilities. Later that week, while I'm sorting through paperwork in the shop, the bell above the door jingles. It's Thomas with a smug look on his face. Hope you're not getting too comfortable, sis. We've hired a lawyer. Victor Reeves. He's known for overturning wills. A chill runs through me, but I stay calm. This is what Aunt Meredith wanted, Tom. Why can't you respect that? He scoffs. Because it's not fair. You're not even blood related to her. His words sting, but I stand firm. Family isn't just about blood, Thomas. It's about love. As he storms out, slamming the door, I sink into Aunt Meredith's old chair. The shop feels like both a sanctuary and a battlefield now. I trace my fingers over the worn wood of the desk, feeling Aunt Meredith's presence all around me. I won't let them take this from us. I promise, I whisper to the empty room, the words hanging in the air like a vow I'm determined to keep. Days blend into weeks as I throw myself into running the shop. Every antique holds a memory of Aunt Meredith, and keeping the business alive feels like keeping a piece of her with me. It's tough, but I'm learning fast. One afternoon, the bell chimes, and in walks a familiar face. "Hi, I'm Olivia. I used to come here all the time," she says with a warm smile. We chat, and I quickly learn that she's well connected in the local business scene. "You know, Sandra," she says thoughtfully, "I think you're doing a great job here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Her words boost my spirits, especially with the rumors circulating about me. Whispers of my mental state and worse. Questions about Aunt Meredith's competency when she wrote the will. I know it's my brothers stirring the pot. A few days later, I'm in the back room when I hear voices, my brothers and a man I don't recognize. "Look, Victor, we need something solid," Michael is saying. "Can you forge some documents or what?" My blood runs cold. I peek out, seeing a slick guy in an expensive suit nodding. "Leave it to me," he says confidently. "We'll make it look like your aunt wanted to sell this place." Sandra won't know what hit her. Shaking, I call Olivia. "They're trying to forge documents, Olivia. What do I do?" She doesn't miss a beat. "We fight fire with fire, honey. Let's set up some cameras in there. Catch them red-handed." The next day, we install hidden cameras and voice recorders throughout the shop. It feels wrong, sneaky, but I'm desperate. A week passes, and as I review the footage, I strike gold. Thomas and Daniel are in the shop after hours, planting forged papers in Aunt Meredith's old desk. "Julie's going to freak when she finds these," Daniel says, laughing. "Yeah, poor, unstable Sandra," Thomas adds. "Can't handle running a business. It's for her own good, really." I feel sick, but at least now I have proof. The next day, they spring their trap. All three brothers show up, their faces etched with fake concern. "Sandra, we need to talk," Michael starts. "We're worried about you," Thomas chimes in, his voice dripping with false sympathy. "Yeah, sis, you're not sleeping, you're barely eating. This shop is too much for you." I play along, curious to see how far they'll go. "What are you saying?" Daniel pulls out some papers. "We found these in Aunt Meredith's desk. She was planning to sell the shop, Sandra. She knew it would be too much for you." I take the papers, my hands steady despite my racing heart. "Oh really? That's interesting." They exchange triumphant glances, thinking they've won. "You know," I say casually, "it's funny you should mention these papers, because I have something to show you too." I pull out my laptop and play the footage of them planting the documents, their faces drain of color. You recorded us?" Michael sputters. I stand tall, feeling Aunt Meredith's strength surge through me. "You bet I did. Now you have two choices. You can walk away and never bother me or this shop again. Or I can take this to the police. Your call." They storm out, hurling threats and insults, but for the first time since Aunt Meredith died, I feel truly in control. As I lock up the shop that night, I whisper to the quiet room, "We did it, Aunt Meredith. We protected your legacy. The battle's not over. I know that, but I'm ready for whatever comes next." Julie Anderson isn't backing down. A few days later, I'm sitting in a cozy cafe with Olivia and her friend, Detective Mia Thompson. My hands tremble slightly as I push play on the recordings. Their faces grow grim as they listen. "This is serious, Sandra," Mia says, her brow furrowed. "I can't officially investigate, but I'll look into it discreetly." Olivia squeezes my hand. "We've got your back, Honorable." Over the next few weeks, I pour myself into the shop while Mia digs deeper. One afternoon, she calls with news. This Victor Reeves character, he's got a history of shady dealings, nearly got disbarred twice. I feel a mix of vindication and disgust. "Thanks, Mia. This helps a lot." Meanwhile, Olivia's been busy too. She introduces me to Jonathan, a respected art dealer. Sandra, your work is extraordinary, he says, examining my paintings. How about we organize an exhibition? The exhibition is a whirlwind of preparation and nerves, but it's a massive success. As I bask in the afterglow, I overhear a conversation that chills me to the bone. Yeah, the auction for Meredith's treasures is set for next week. Michael's voice drifts over. Panic surges through me. I immediately call Mia, who reassures me she'll be there. The day of the auction arrives, and I'm a bundle of nerves. I watch as my brothers strut in with Victor Reeves, smug and confident. They freeze when they see me. What are you doing here, Sandra? Thomas spits, venom in his voice. Before I can respond, Mia walks in, flanked by 2 officers. Gentlemen, I think we need to talk, she says calmly. What follows is a blur. Accusations, evidence, and rapidly paling faces. Victor Reeves tries to make a break for it, but he's quickly apprehended. You're facing disbarment and potential criminal charges, Mr. Reeves, Mia states coldly. My brothers stand shell-shocked. Michael's phone rings. It's his boss, firing him on the spot. Thomas's wife storms in, engagement ring in hand, and throws it at him before storming out. Daniel frantically tries to contact his business partners, but it's too late. They've already cut ties. As the dust settles, I feel a strange mix of sadness and relief. It's over, I whisper to myself. In the months that follow, I pour my heart into transforming the shop. Meredith's Treasures becomes a unique blend of an antique shop and an art gallery where my own work hangs alongside carefully curated pieces, each with a story to tell. 1 year later, I'm arranging a new exhibition when my phone buzzes. It's Michael. Sandra, please. We were wrong. Can't we talk? I take a deep breath, thinking of all the pain they caused me. No, Michael. I've moved on. I suggest you do the same. As I hang up, my eyes fall on a photo of Aunt Meredith. I smile, feeling her presence. We did it, Aunt Meredith, I say softly. Your legacy lives on, and I'm finally living my dream. I turn back to my canvas, brush in hand, ready to create something beautiful. The shop bell tinkles as a customer enters, and I smile. This is where I belong. This is my victory. And as for my brothers, they're learning the hard way that karma is real. Welcome to Meredith's Treasures. I call out, my voice strong and sure. How can I help you today? Sandra's journey through betrayal and triumph has come to an end, but we want to hear from you. If you were in her shoes, would you have given your brothers a second chance after their betrayal? Or was cutting ties the right decision? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. Hi everyone, I'm Mia, and I'm 28. Family has always been everything to me. Sunday dinners, movie nights, you name it. My brother Ryan and I were inseparable growing up. He was always my partner in crime, like when I snuck out for that concert in high school. Life was pretty great, honestly. Then, one night at dinner, Ryan dropped a bombshell. I'm getting married, he announced with the biggest grin. I nearly choked on my pasta. To who? I managed to ask. Megan Foster, he replied, looking all dreamy. I'd met Megan a few times. She was nice, if a little quiet. But hey, who was I to judge? I was thrilled for Ryan. He deserved someone special. Mom practically melted with happiness, and Dad gave him a proud pat on the back. I jumped up to hug him, genuinely happy. Little did I know, though, this was the start of a total nightmare. At first, everything was fine. Megan and I went dress shopping and laughed over Ryan's terrible dance moves at their engagement party. But then subtle things started to feel off. Megan would make these small comments when Ryan wasn't around. Once I suggested a song for their first dance, and she chuckled. Oh, Mia, we'll let people with real taste choose the music. I brushed it off, assuming she was just stressed about wedding planning. But it kept happening. She'd leave me out of bridesmaid emails or change plans last minute without telling me. One day, while I was helping Mom with the seating chart, Megan walked in. Oh, Mia, didn't expect to see you here, she said, her voice dripping with forced sweetness. She made it sound like I should have been too busy with my job to be involved. When I tried talking to Ryan, he shrugged. Come on, Mia, he said. Megan's great. You're probably just imagining things. But I wasn't, and it was starting to drive me crazy. At the bridal shower, Megan accidentally spilled red wine all over my favorite white blouse. Oops. Guess you can thank me. White is so boring, she laughed. I forced a smile, but inside, I was fuming. This wasn't the Megan Ryan had introduced us to. This was someone else entirely. And I had a feeling it was only going to get worse. It didn't take long for family rumors to start swirling. Aunt Karen pulled me aside one day, her voice low. "Mia, sweetie, is everything okay with you and Ryan?" I was taken aback. "Why wouldn't it be?" I asked. "Well," she whispered, "Megan mentioned that you might be having trouble letting go." I was floored. Megan was spreading rumors about me to my own family. The real tipping point came at the bridesmaid dress fitting. I overheard Megan saying to a friend, "I'm just so embarrassed by the way Mia flirts with Jake." I stormed out, furious. "Excuse me? I've been with Alex for 2 years. What are you even talking about?" Megan looked at me with fake innocence. "Oh, Mia, I didn't see you there. I was just worried. You know, about how you act around Jake." And yet the worst was still to come. At the rehearsal dinner, things finally seemed okay. I was chatting with Jake and Alex, relaxing for the first time in days, when Megan suddenly tripped and dumped an entire glass of red wine down my dress. Everyone fell silent as I stood there, humiliated. Megan gasped dramatically, "Oh my gosh, Mia, I'm so sorry. Looks like someone's had a bit too much to drink." Ryan turned to me, his face conflicted. "Mia, maybe you should go home and get some rest," he said quietly. I couldn't believe it. "Ryan, I've only had 1 glass of champagne all night." Megan did this on purpose. But he just shook his head. "Come on, Mia, don't make a scene." I felt like I was going crazy. Couldn't anyone else see what was happening? After that disaster of a rehearsal dinner, I couldn't take it anymore. Desperate for someone to talk to, I called my cousin Lisa. "Lisa, I don't know what to do. Megan's turned everyone against me, spreading rumors, sabotaging me at every turn. Now Ryan thinks I'm just some jealous drunk mess." Lisa's voice was sympathetic but cautious. "That sounds awful, Mia, but are you sure you're not just misinterpreting things?" My heart sank. Even Lisa didn't believe me. Misinterpreting? Lisa, she dumped wine on me and then accused me of being drunk. How was that a misinterpretation? Okay, she said quickly. "I believe you. It's just hard to imagine. Megan seems so sweet." I laughed bitterly. "Yeah, when Ryan's around. You should see her when he's not." We talked for a while, with me spilling every detail of Megan's behavior over the past few months. When we hung up, I felt a mix of relief and dread. The wedding was tomorrow, and I had no idea how I was going to get through it. One thing was for sure, though, this was far from over. Megan might think she'd won, but I wasn't going down without a fight. The next morning, I arrived at the venue at dawn, determined to talk things out with Ryan. I spotted him near the altar, looking nervous but happy. "Hey, big bro," I said, cautiously approaching. "Need any help?" Ryan gave me a strange smile. "Hey, Mia. I think we got it covered." I felt my heart sink but pressed on. "Listen, about last night, let me explain. It's my wedding day, Mia." He cut me off. "Can we just forget about it?" I nodded, swallowing the lump in my throat. "Sure, Ryan. Whatever you want." As I turned to leave, I heard Megan's voice from the bridal suite. Curiosity got the better of me, and I crept closer to listen. "Girls, you won't believe how easy it was," Megan was saying, her voice dripping with smugness. A few well-placed comments, a little accident with some wine, and bam. Mia's the bad guy, and Ryan's eating out of my hand. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. One of the bridesmaids giggled. "But weren't you worried she'd figure it out?" Megan scoffed. "Please, she's so desperate for Ryan's approval she'd believe anything. By the time this wedding's over, she'll be completely out of the picture." That was it. I'd had enough. I burst into the room, fury radiating off me. "So that's your game, huh? Turning my own brother against me for what control?" Megan's eyes widened, but then narrowed. "Mia, I don't know what you think you heard, but save it. I heard every word. How could you do this to me? To Ryan?" Her face twisted into a sneer. "Oh, grow up, Mia. Did you really think you could keep Ryan all to yourself forever? He needed to cut the cord sometime." I was so angry I could barely see straight. "This isn't about keeping Ryan to myself. This is about you manipulating and lying to everyone." Just then, I heard a gasp behind me. I turned to see Ryan standing in the doorway, his face a mask of confusion and hurt. "Ryan," I started, but Megan beat me to it, rushing to his side in tears. Oh, Ryan, thank goodness you're here. Mia just burst in and started accusing me of all these horrible things. She's trying to ruin our wedding day. I couldn't believe it. What? No, Ryan, that's not what happened. She was bragging about how she turned you against me. Ryan looked back and forth between us, clearly overwhelmed. Mia, what are you doing? Why are you trying to cause drama on my wedding day? I'm not. I protested. Ryan, please, you have to believe me. Megan's been manipulating you this whole time. But the look in his eyes told me he didn't believe a word I was saying. Megan's crocodile tears had sealed the deal. Ryan's voice was cold as he spoke. I think you should leave, Mia. I felt like my world was crumbling. Ryan, please, no. He cut me off. I can't believe you tried to steal Megan's spotlight like this. I thought you were better than that. Tears streamed down my face. Ryan, I swear, I'm telling the truth. He shook his head, wrapping an arm around Megan. Just go, Mia. You've done enough damage. I stumbled out of the room, barely able to see through my tears, and ran into Mom and Dad in the hallway. Mia, honey, what's wrong? Mom asked, reaching for me. I shook my head, unable to speak. Somewhere behind me, I heard Alex calling my name. I couldn't face any of them, not now. Without a word, I ran out of the venue, ignoring the shocked looks and hushed whispers around me. As I drove away, I glimpsed Mom and Dad in the rearview mirror, calling after me. But I couldn't turn back. Not after this. The fairy tale was over, and somehow I'd become the villain of the story. After that wedding disaster, I threw myself into work. Months flew by, and I landed a major promotion. Our latest campaign was making waves in the industry, and I finally started feeling like myself again. Then, one night, my phone buzzed with a message from Lisa. Mia, we need to talk. It's about Ryan and Megan. I hesitated, but agreed to meet her at a nearby cafe. Lisa looked nervous as she slid her phone across the table. I did something, well, kind of terrible, she confessed. I recorded our conversation about Megan and played it for Ryan last week. My hands shook as I listened to the recording. Every painful memory, every frustration captured in digital form. Ryan and Megan have been having issues, Lisa continued softly. When he heard this, he realized what had happened. Mia, he wants to talk to you. Right on cue, my phone lit up with Ryan's number. I declined the call. I can't, Lisa. It's too late. Over the next few weeks, I heard through the grapevine that Ryan and Megan were divorcing. Apparently, Megan's manipulative behavior had even extended to her job, where she'd gotten into legal trouble for fraud. Ryan kept trying to reach out, voicemails, texts, even a heartfelt letter. Mia, I'm so sorry. I should have believed you. Please, can we talk? But I wasn't ready. The hurt was still too fresh. Instead, I focused on my own life. I had a solid group of friends who genuinely supported me, and Alex had been my rock through everything. One day, as Alex and I were planning a vacation, Mom called. Honey, did you hear? Ryan and Megan's divorce is final. I took a deep breath. That's good, Mom. I hope he's okay. He misses you, sweetie. I looked at Alex, who squeezed my hand supportively. I know, Mom, but I'm not ready. Maybe someday, but not now. When I hung up, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The drama was over, and I was finally free. I'd survived, thrived, even, and for the first time in a long time, I was genuinely excited for the future, a future on my own terms. That brings us to the end of our story. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your thoughts in the comments below.